Before this video starts, I want you to understand what you're about to watch. This is a real, unedited talk I gave to a group of men struggling with addiction and recovery. I'm sharing my son Lance's story exactly as I told it that night, raw, emotional, and honest. There's strong language and difficult moments, but the purpose is simple, to remind you that your life matters and that one decision can change everything. If this story reaches even one person who needs to hear it, it's worth sharing.
Uh, I'll probably get emotional tonight too, guys, but y'all bear with me. He sat right there 6 years ago. Um, Lance was born on May the 16th of 1996, best day of my life. Well, him and my daughter, so you can say one or the other. But my first son, and wonderful day of my life, wonderful kid, growing up, star football player, broke the high school record in Chalk County for number of tackles in the senior year. Got a scholarship offer, go play football. Didn't have the grades. He didn't worry about his grades till the last 9 weeks of school. Daddy, what I'm going to do about them grades? I said, son, you should listen to me when you was in the ninth grade, and I told you that you had to worry about them then. So he didn't get to go to college. So on the scholarship, I paid for him to go to college. He goes to college, plays football, and North Georgia Technical College, right around Athens. Comes home on Thanksgiving. Football season's over. He comes home on Thanksgiving, and CV joint on his car was messed up, and we got it Saturday morning to go to O'Reilly's to buy a CV joint. I stopped at the store, ran the store, come back out. He's like, Daddy, you ain't gotta go. You ain't gotta go buy that CV joint. Well, why not, son? That's why I'm not sending you 6 hours away with a bad CV joint on your car. He's like, no, you don't understand. I ain't going back to college. Okay, all them big checks I just wrote down the drain. So he didn't go back to college. So he come back home. He's home for 7 months. He tells me one day, Daddy, I'm going in the Marines. Okay. That's a shocker. And that was in May. Right on his birthday. He told me he was going in the Marines. And he left that August. Up until that time, that was the hardest day of my life. Was when I dropped him off at boot camp. Went to boot camp, done good. Excelled, marksman, excelled at it. Got him after boot camp, come home for Christmas. The next hardest day is when I put him on a plane to go to California. He was in California for a year. I get a phone call. I hadn't talked to him in a couple of weeks, and I didn't know why I couldn't get a hold to him. And finally, I get a phone call, and he's in the brig. Went out, what's the one in September, Labor Day weekend, Lake Tahoe, and snorted him a couple of lines, come back in. They put his ass in the brigs, and then they kicked him out. So that started, I don't know if that started, that was a big part of Lance, you know, uh, trip, roadway that he was going on. He come out of the Marines. I picked him up at the airport. Very happy to see him. I hadn't seen him in almost a year. And he comes and moved back in with me and his mama. His sister was gone. We was empty nesters. We were used to, it's just us now, mama. We can run around naked. And then Lance comes back home, you know. So it was a change for us. It was a change for him. He'd been out on his own for 2 or 3 years by this time. And he started drinking really hard, drinking really hard. And I drank my whole life since, hell, since I was 15, 16 years old, I drank. So he seen me drink every day. So he just, he just following in daddy's footsteps. He wants to be like daddy. Um, so this rocks on back and forth, back and forth. You know how it is when you got two people drinking in the house. It's not good. So there's lots of fights, whatever went on. Lance moved out, and I go out to my garage one day to get a nail gun. My nail gun's gone. Where's my damn nail gun? And then I noticed some other stuff was missing. And then I go up to the store. St. George is a little small town. I don't know if y'all know about one caution light, two stores. Walk in the store, and this lady's in there talking about her husband. Lance had come and tried to sell him a 22 rifle. I'm missing a 22 rifle, you know. So I go try to talk to Lance, and it gets heated, whatever. So I'm done with it. I don't know what to do with him at this point in time. So I called one of my buddies. That's a chief deputy in Charlotte County, and I said, "But I need some help. Can you lock Lance's ass up?" So he does. He locks him up. He comes and sends the deputy to my house. That now become the worst day of my life. Whenever I told the cop to go get my son and put him in jail, and he done it. Put him in jail. He was pissed. He was pissed with Daddy. Didn't want to talk to me. Didn't whatever. But he was also high that day. He was probably drunk that day, and all that other kind of good stuff. And he hauled him out there. 3 days later, he called me crying, "Get me out of here, Daddy. Get me out of here, Daddy." And at this time, my cousin, Denise, she runs a facility similar to this in Eastman, Georgia. Uh, Something Hope. It's for women. It was for women at that time. So I called her. I didn't know what else to do. I called her. She said, get a hold of this place here. This place here will help you out. So I got a hold to, I think it was Robbie was running it then, and made a deal with Lance and deal with the sheriff's department that I'd pick Lance up and I'd bring him and I'd drop him off here. So we come here and he agrees to it. Anything to get me out of that jail cell. Bring him and drop him off here. And today, I had a script written when I'd done this years ago, but I couldn't find it. Anyway, I was on my computer today and I was going through some stuff in there named Lance, and I pulled and opened it. It was a picture. It was this picture, and then there was beside it was a picture of a young man that I didn't even recognize. I forgot how bad that he looked. He didn't look like himself. The day I dropped him off in there, I wish I'd have brought that picture where you could see the transformation that this place had on him. This place had on him, the impact that it had on his life. I can pull it up on my phone for y'all and show y'all, but the impact that this place had on his life, it was a change, a total change. And I forget how it goes, but you can't have the phone for so long, or you can't talk to your parents or your loved ones for so long, but then you get that first Sunday dinner where you can come here and you know, and eat. Your family can come and eat with you. I pulled in, and he's walking across the parking lot here. My wife says, "Who's that?" Didn't even recognize him. He was fat. Look how fat he was in that picture. He probably gained 60 pounds, you know, from that picture to there. You know, he loved doing the peanut butter jam, whatever it is y'all do with the jam sandwiches and all. But I didn't even recognize him. He had transformed into the son that I had seen growing up, and total different person. So he does his, I don't want to say time, but he spends his time here, and then whenever he leaves here, at this point in time, my cousin had opened a men's facility up in Dublin or Eastman. So he goes there. He leaves here. He goes there for 3 months, and he's just ready to come home. So he comes home, and he's home for, my dates will run ragged, but he comes home for 3 months, 4 months, and then decides he's going to get his own place. He's doing good while he's at the house and steps right there. And he comes home, he gets his own place, they help him get his own place and all that kind of stuff. And then he stops coming around. He stops coming around like he should. He stops coming around like he should. And we eat Sunday night supper at my house with me. I've got 4 kids. Lance, my oldest daughter, Heather, she's my stepdaughter, but she's my daughter. Heather, then Lance, then my middle son, Ethan, he's my stepson, Ethan, and then my youngest daughter, Kaylee. We eat supper every night, every Sunday night at my house, no matter what. And now I've got 4 grandkids. So we still do that to this day. We eat Sunday night supper at my house. And I'll tell you why that's important in a little bit. But I lost my train of thought.
Stop showing up.
He stopped showing up. He stopped showing up for dinner. And then I'd go to his trailer and knock on his door, and he wouldn't come to his door. Wouldn't come to his door. And he had some buddies from here that he went to work with in Jacksonville, roofing. And I'll tell you another thing about Lance. That son of a bitch could get a job. He could get one of the best jobs. Well, he was a jailer. He worked for the forestry department. He worked for this. He could talk his way into any job, and then he'd work his way right out of it in a little while or whatever. But he was like that. He could work his way into a job. Anyway, again, went to work for them. And I get a call one night from Jason. Says, you got to come get Lance. I'm like, I'm not coming to get Lance. Lance is a grown-ass man. Lance knows the consequences. He's been through the programs. He knows the consequences. He knows what he's doing. I'm not coming to get Lance. I'm not coming to get him. On the phone up. That was on a Friday night. Sunday, I was cutting down a big old oak tree in the backyard. Lance came over and helped me cut down the oak tree. That Sunday. Nope. It was Saturday. I cut the oak tree down. I went inside, got a shower, and all kind of stuff, and he come and I sat in my recliner. He gave me a hug and he said, bye, Daddy. I'll see you tomorrow for supper. So like, okay. He didn't come to supper Sunday night. 5 years ago tomorrow, I'm on my way to Waycross, Georgia, and to my hunt club. I can show you the spot on the road I was at when I'm on the phone with him. We're talking. We're just talking. He's telling me about work. He's telling me about this, how good he's doing. He told me he's having some issues sleeping. He's waking up sweating and all that kind of stuff. I never put none of that one and two together, but now I know the difference and all that. But tell me that. We talked for 20 minutes on the ride. I can tell you the mile marker I was at when I said, "Oh, Bubba, I'll talk to you later. All right, Daddy, I love you. I'll see you Sunday." I love you. I'll see you Sunday. My wife meets me up here. She comes up here hunting. My dad comes hunting with me. He's 79 years old and still goes hunting with me every year. I really, really enjoy that. But Saturday morning, didn't talk to him Friday. I asked him to come up and go hunting with me that weekend, but he didn't. He told me on the phone, he said, I'm going to work Saturday and make me a little bit of extra money. I'm like, okay, that's good. We always can use a little bit of extra money. Saturday morning, go hunting. Don't see nothing. It was a bad day hunting. So I come back to the camp, throw some corn in the buggy, tell my wife and my dad, so I'm going to go put some corn out of our stands and all that kind of good stuff. I'm over there shaking the corn out. My phone rings. Look at it, it's my wife. Hey, babe, what's going on? Lance is dead. Do what? And she can't talk no more. She hands the phone to my dad. And my dad says, Lance is dead. Come back to camp. The Honda runs 67 miles an hour on a dirt road on that 4-wheeler. So I haul ass back to camp. Then what do? Get to camp. Tina's on the ground crying. My dad, at this time 74 years old, he's crying. What do? You get pissed off. That's what you do. You get pissed off. She said, we gotta go home. I said, I'm going home. Ain't messing up my fucking hunting trip. He's dead. I ain't doing it. I was pissed. I was pissed. I was pissed with you. How do you do that? I'm pissed. So before we got to there, I called his friend Drew. I said, Drew, what's going on, bud? And he said, his roommate come home, found him in there, in the bed, dead. So I said, well, I ain't going home. And then I remembered, I'm like, I got a daughter at the house. I gotta come get my I gotta go tell her that her brother's dead. Pack up, run 90 miles an hour and get home. She's sitting on the porch. Somebody done told her. By herself. Get out. Thank you. I'm sorry. And hug her, talk to her, what all that kind of stuff. Phone rings. Detective from Jacksonville Sheriff's Office calls me. Mr. Thompson? I said, yes, sir. He said, I got your number from Drew. He said, I'm calling to give you some bad news. I said, yes, sir, I know. I said, what happened? He said, we don't know yet. We don't know yet. So now you don't know. I said, was it drugs? He said, I can't tell you, Mr. Thompson, I don't know. He said, we did find some pot. Okay. Some pot. What the hell? So now I got to call. When I say my wife is mom, that's Tina. His real mom is Rebecca. Now I got to call his real mom Rebecca. Tell her. So I do that, all that kind of stuff. I've always known God, and I believe in God and going to heaven, saved, all that kind of good stuff. Don't go to church every Sunday morning, and all that kind of good stuff. Don't believe you've got to get in heaven. But you got to have Christ in your heart. You got to ask Him to save you, and all that kind of good stuff. But now you're questioning. Now I'm questioning. Why you take my boy? Why you take my boy? It was my boy. Why did you take him? So I was pissed at Lance, and now I'm pissed at God. And I'm sitting in the house when a truck comes down my driveway. I got one of the dingers, long driveway. I got one of the dingers. Who the hell's coming in my driveway? I got a big family, and they had all been there and all that kind, but everybody left, and now it's dinging that's coming down my driveway. And this guy I hadn't seen in 10 years gets out of his truck, and he's got bags from Walmart. Just bags with everything you could think of, toothpaste, toilet paper. I don't need none of that shit. But that was his way of trying to comfort me. And when he left, the next one showed up, and the next one showed up, and the next one showed up. And they're telling me the impacts that Lance had on them, on them. And then I've got his buddies in Alaska calling me. His buddies from Marines in Alaska, his buddies in all over the United States calling me, telling me the impact that Lance had on them. And he didn't know that. The impact that you guys have on somebody, you don't know the impact that you have on people. You don't know it until you're gone, and then they tell somebody else about it. Because guys ain't gonna call a guy, hey man, your son, we're just not gonna do that, right? But we'll do it after he's dead, right? So I'm saying that to say that you have an impact on somebody's life. Somebody, you've had an impact, a good one or a bad one, whichever way it will be, it had an impact on their life, you know? And so now I'm just trying to get through the week, Go to the funeral home and look into these caskets. $9,000 for a damn casket, $6,000 for a casket. We go in there, we sit down there, we talk to him, and it just pops in my head. And I said, can I build his casket? And he's like, nobody's ever asked me that before. I said, can I build his casket? He's like, sure. I'm like, okay, I'm going to build his casket. You just put the vault in the ground, give me the dimensions, and I'll build his casket. So I got 3 brothers, my dad, and one of my real good friends. My good friend owns a sawmill. We went and cut the pine boards with his sawmill. We brought the boards to his house, and I built my son's casket. Decorated it like crazy. Pretty, black stuff in it. Georgia Bulldog shit all in there. He can't see none of it, but it just made me feel better to build his casket. The last thing I could ever do for him was to build his casket. So I'm building this casket. We're out there working on it that day, and I see this guy pull a Somebody else. I'm tired of talking to people. This guy pulls up and he's like, Mr. Roller, you got a minute? Yeah. He goes over and he's like, and before I go on to there, I had told Tina, this happened Saturday. This is probably Monday, Tuesday. We're building a casket. Funeral, I think, was on Friday. Yeah, Tuesday we're building a casket. And I had told Tina, I said, I can't remember. I can't remember his face. I can't remember him when he was a kid. My memories was gone. I reckon I was just so clouded that week that I couldn't remember nothing. And when Robert pulled up, come here, he said, this is not a good time. He said, I know. He said, but I need you to come to my sister's house, if you would. My niece is there, strung out. Will you come talk to her? Yeah. Guess where his sister lived? In my old house. She bought my old house for me. The house that Lance grew up in. With the pecan trees that Lance climbed in. When I opened that door, all the memories come back. Everyone come back. And God worked it that way that them memories come back to me. And now I have them. And I'll go in his room and just, bawl my eyes out in his room. But every memory that had come back, but I couldn't before then because I told Tina, I said, I can't remember. I can't remember him growing up. So through a crackhead girl, and I'll call her that. I called her that at his funeral. She was sitting right there. God brought me up there and give me my memories back of him. So do that. Go out there and talk to this young girl, Purdy, 17, 18 years old, strung out. I invited her to Lance's service the night before, what it's called, the viewing. The viewing. I didn't want the casket open because I didn't want to see him again. I wanted to remember him now how I remember him. Like this, like the crackhead that he looked like here before. So I invited her and she come. She come to the funeral. And she's had her ups and downs since then. But I just seen a post of her 2 or 3 weeks ago on Facebook. Beautiful. Beautiful. Now whether it had an impact on her, I don't know, but she's doing good. So I'm gonna take a little bit of credit of that and I'm gonna give the rest of the job. You know what I'm saying? So we do that. And then my youngest brother, Travis, he'd come to the house. And he was the last one there. We got more damn cake and more chicken. You want some chicken? Just die, because they'll bring you some damn chicken, I guarantee you. You got more chicken. I got chicken in the freezer. I probably still got chicken in the freezer. But everybody else had left the house, and my brother, Travis, was there. And we were talking, and I told him, I said, this week, I can get through it this week. Because everybody's here, everybody's comforting, and all that kind of stuff. And I said, I don't know how I'm going to get to it when they're not here. He left. I went to go get my dip. Couldn't find my dip. And I go to my truck, and I lean in my truck, and my phone's in my front pocket. And I lean in my truck, get my dip, and I get out. My phone starts playing a song. Sturgill Simpson. Y'all ever heard of him? All Around You. You know that song they sing? All Around You. That started playing on my phone. I love Sturgill Simpson, but I had never heard that song. It started playing on my phone, and I started clicking, and then I heard it, and I listened to it. And I run inside, and I tell Tina, I said, you got to listen to this song, and play, and I played the song for her. That was God's answer to me on how I was going to get through when nobody else was there, when everybody was gone. He used Sturgill Simpson's song to give me my answer. He's all around me. He's all around me. He's giving me the words to not. God's giving me the words to not, because I am not a public speaker. I hate standing up front. I got 50 guys that work for me, and if I got 10 of them in the ring, I hate to have to get up and tell them, and I could sit down and bullshit with them all day long, but I hate to stand up in front of them. You know how it is. So, anyway, that song played, and that was just another answer from God. Now I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna back up. Got home Saturday. Woke up Sunday morning. I'm sitting on the toilet and I'm cussing God and I'm cussing Lance. I get dressed. I go get on my tractor and I'm mowing my field and I'm mowing my field and I'm round and around and I'm arguing and I'm cussing and I'm loud. And they're at the house. They can hear me on my tractor out there. But me and God are going round and round while I'm on that field, mowing it. But when I got off the tractor, I wasn't mad at him no more. I wasn't mad at him no more. We fought it out on that tractor and he proved right. And I wasn't mad anymore. Still mad at Lance a little bit. I still to this day get mad at Lance. I get mad to this day at Lance. So had his funeral or had his viewing. The little girl was there, told her story. I got up and told this story at his viewing. Then we had his funeral the next day. I have a preacher lined up to do the preaching and all kind of stuff. And then I sat and I get up and I tell this same, very similar story that I'm telling now. And I'm just hoping, my only reason I'm here tonight, I hope it has an impact on every one of y'all, but at least one of you. I want it to change to make you think whenever you come back out of here. So now I'm going to tell you what killed Lance. So it's about 3 weeks, 4 weeks, get an autopsy report back. I'm just dying to get this autopsy report back. I get the report back. I want to see what the hell he'd done. I wanted to see what he'd done. What did he do? He had marijuana in his system. He had fentanyl in his system. You know what? When I called the deputy, what the deputy told me? They had laced his marijuana with fentanyl. How the hell you do that? I ain't never heard no shit like that before. I'm just a damn country redneck from the St. George. I didn't know you could lace marijuana with fentanyl. I don't know how they do it. Why the hell would you do it? If you're gonna sell it, your ideal of selling is to make money, right? You're killing off your damn customers. Why would you do it? They do it to make it a little bit higher high, a little bit higher high. And then he's high as hell when he's mixing it up and he makes it a damn death high. That's how they do it. And that's what he had in the system. And a horse tranquilizer. A horse tranquilizer. What the hell that is, I don't know either. But the deputy told me they'll do that too. So I don't know. But this is the picture I got of Lance now. Want to read that? That's his death certificate. And it changed my life totally that week. I told people that was the worst, best week of my life. So that can make sense to you. That's the worst, best week of my life. The worst week because I lost my son. The best week because I realized that God is real. I realized God is real. When he brought me to my old house that I hadn't been to in years and gave me my memories back of Lance. When he played that song on my phone for me. It ain't no coincidence that damn song played on my phone in my pocket. I hadn't been in Pandora. I hadn't been listening to no damn music that week. Hadn't had it open. How else you think that song played on my radio? God said, play Sturgill Simpson all around you. So when I say it was the worst week and the best week, it was the best week because it brought me closer to God. Am I as close as I should be? Probably not. But I know there is a God, and I know that I'm going to see him one day. And I pray that Lance is there, waiting on me. And all. So I just wanted to share Lance's story with y'all tonight. And I hope that y'all take this facility, this program, this awesome ass place here for real. And when you go out of here, Lance was doing fantastic here. Lance was doing fantastic at home. but there was something pulling him back. Something pulling him back. And there's going to be something that's going to pull you back. There's going to be a pissed off old lady or a flat tire or something. And that Bud Light sign is going to be going boop, 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 every store you pass by. Just drive on past it. He, before he died, whenever he was living with me and all that kind of stuff, he wrecked my truck one day. Called me at work. I'd let him borrow my truck because his car was a piece of shit. And he was going to get a job interview. He wrecked my truck. And I didn't know about this until months later. He was drunk as a skunk when he wrecked my truck. And the cops let him go. Because he was bawling his eyes out that his daddy was going to beat his ass. This is a big boy at this point in time, but he was bawling his eyes out that his daddy was going to beat his ass, and the cops let him go. So, I don't know where I'm going with that, but just there's all kind of different signs. There's all kind of different things that we deal with. Y'all just remember when you leave here. I don't want to say get out because it's not like you're in jail. When you leave this facility here, don't leave what you learned here. Take it with you. Take it with you, because one day you're gonna have to make a decision. That devil's on this shoulder and you're on this shoulder. You're gonna have to make that decision, and let the stuff that you learn here, the fellowship that you have here with these guys, give them a call. I don't know Jude from Adam, but I guarantee you when you get out of here and you call him, he'll be there for you. I guarantee you Coach will be there for you. I guarantee you if Lance would have called Coach that night, he'd have drugged his ass all the way from here, all the way to Jacksonville. I guarantee you. It's just the way they are. And all. And it's rough whenever you're in here. I'm saying in here again, but it's rough when you're here. But just don't forget it when you leave, guys. Don't let that be the last thing that somebody has of you. Don't let it be. Somebody out there loves you. I ain't got no doubt about it. Not gonna be but one. Somebody loves you. If they don't, God loves you. You gotta love yourself. On top of that, so and these guys in here, you build a bond with these guys. Take it for life. Use it for life. Use it for life. That's about all I got. Y'all got any questions or anything for me? Anything?
That's what I thank you for coming.
No, I thank y'all for y'all's time. And I was nervous when I walked up here, but I ain't nervous at all. So again, I thank y'all, and it's been 3 or 4 years since I've done it, and I'm gonna try to do it more often. I'm gonna try my damnedest to not let, even though it's bad shit that I'm saying about Lance, I feel he's right here telling me what to say, because he was a good kid. He was a good guy. He just got on the wrong path, and that wrong path just took him from us. So, again, thank you guys.
Lance, I just want you to know how much I love you and how much I miss you every single day. There's not a day that goes by that I don't think about you or don't wish I could hear your voice one more time. You were a good kid, a good man, and you mattered more than you ever knew. I carry you with me in everything I do, and I'll keep telling your story as long as I've got breath in me. Where the map ends, the wild begins. Stay rugged,